Well, happy fall, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. It is now time for the season premiere for the second season of Makeup Gourmet Live. So let's get ready to start and have a really good time. All right, I am very pleased to be here for the second season. I want you to know I've been working very hard on this first episode because fall is a completely different time of year than any other time of year. And I want to talk about fall colors. And not so, I will be talking about makeup colors, but more specifically, what does it mean when fall is happening? Because between spring and fall, they are the two biggest dramatic moments in nature, and it really impacts fashion and makeup. That's why always the spring and the fall collections are always so huge, because they are really reflecting what's happening in nature. So as we're going along today, I urge you, if you have any questions about what I'm talking about, or just want to share, your thoughts as well, I really welcome them because I would love to have this be more of a monologue than a discussion, but I have plenty to say, as you probably already well know. So let's talk about fall makeup and what that means. So first, a disclaimer. Now, you read the magazines and there's so many rules about makeup. Seriously, however you want to wear your makeup and whatever colors you choose to use them. Because the rules of makeup, they can be restricting, contradictory, and one person says one thing and the other person says the exact opposite. But really, what I want to share with you is how I feel about fall colors, how it impacts and influences the style of makeup I do. Because any of my clients will tell you, I never sit down and go, well, here, these are the best colors for you. I really want to know where you're going, what you're doing, what time of day is it. And in knowing that, I'm able to assist you better with the right, sort of assembly of makeup colors. But so let's get right into the fall colors, because really, as far as your makeup is concerned, you don't have to change how you do your makeup. Just look at the influence of color and light as fall starts to creep in, and all you do is you just sort of shift a couple of colors in your makeup color wardrobe, and it's that simple to have your makeup transition with the season. So like I said, nature really leads the way when it comes to fall and spring makeup. So obviously we're talking about fall today, so let's talk about it. So to talk about fall, I'm going to talk about summer, because summer is a really high impact season, because the leaves are full of trees, and I'm going to show you a lot of images that sort of share what we see in the summer. And then as fall approaches, what happens is we start to just notice this dramatic transition of color, and also of light. And that dramatic transition really starts to affect the time of day, really. We see fall just feels like things are happening at a different time almost. So in the summertime, what I love about summer is there's the trees are full of leaves and there's lots of shade going around, because all the foliage is just full of so much leaves, and you notice in this image that there are very few colors going on. You got the blue sky, you got the green tree and background, and this one happens to be on a green lawn, but just not a lot of colors happening. But when fall starts to creep in, that very same tree or one like it, takes on a life of its own. It almost appears as if it starts to get, I don't know, almost brighter. So in this sort of bizarre, vivid way, even though we're starting to lose light as fall approaches, the fall itself is transitioning into much more vividity. And that really influences designers when it comes to fashion and makeup. When it comes to, what are the colors we're going to use? What is the impact? What are we reflecting? Where are we today? And how does, what we're wearing reflect that? And I think, these two images, just going back and forth between the two, you got your summer tree, and there you are, and then you go back to, and when fall starts happening, it just gets kind of exciting. It's interesting because like summertime is that kind of, if you want to say like a lazy summer, it's warm, you're relaxing, and all of a sudden things start to change. Things start to get, kind of colorful and exciting, and we know that the fall, holidays are right around the corner, and there's just more there's more energy in the air because something is really happening. And just as another example, I mean, even high up in the mountains, again, the color difference between what we see is between the mountain, the tree, the river that's running through it. They're very solid, plain, easy colors, and then as fall starts to hit, again this drama begins, right? We love hiking in this. The air is warm, it's sweet, and then all of a sudden that air just gets cooler, and if you're near some high mountains, the color of the mountains change when the snow starts to fall. And then that intermediate color, that color that sort of cuts between the mountain and the sky, those beautiful fall foliages really start to affect how we see ourselves in color and how it affects designers as well. And again, what I love about summertime is you've all been driving down a road and there's a bunch of trees, right? And you notice, there's not a lot of colors going on. The colors are gorgeous, but there's also a lot of shade because the trees are full of leaves and the light's not breaking through. But then, when fall hits, it's like, what just happened? So look what happens. First of all, the light changes because without as many leaves, more light is breaking through. So it's as if the world lights up a little bit, which again is bizarre because in fall we're getting the short, daytimes are shorter. But that's what's happening. And so there's just more contrast. There's more color to see. And so in fashion and also in your makeup, it gives us permission to wear more of these colors and know that this is where the influences come from for designers. They don't make this stuff up. They really respond to what's going on. And so just to kind of slideshow through some transitions, these beautiful summer vistas where there are like 2 or 3 colors happening, and then when fall just kind of starts to slip in, there's just something else going on, and the sky even changes. It can still be daylight and pounding with lots of good color, but the daylight has been affected. Have you ever been under a tree that's changing colors? Because it really the air almost changes color, and so in fact you are changing color when you are out in the fall, and that is how it also affects the makeup that you choose to wear because you're in the color, right? And then what's also really cool is how light gets affected, through the foliage. You got these beautiful summer trees, and then when the color changes, you can see how light is a little bit more filtered. In the summer, you got these nice, vivid greens in the water, and then fall comes around, and all of a sudden, the light change hue, and so should the makeup that you're wearing. Understand that, and I'm not like a scientist, obviously, but I do know that our Earth is rotating in its orbit, and so the sun is getting farther away from us, and so the angle of the sun as it's cutting through space is more angled, so it's picking up more atmosphere, it's picking up more color and haziness, like a fall haziness, and you can see in these images how that really contrasts and compares, and how you want to let the fall light also influence that kind of muted, fuzzy, hazy, gorgeous, rich, umbers and reds and yellows and golds and all those gorgeous colors as they're coming to life. They're coming to life, not just in nature, but they can also come to life on you. So this is like a quick styling deconstruction for you, because here, these are the questions that, whether you're conscious of it or not, there's three questions that you should ask yourself when you're about to get dressed, and then and also put on your makeup. What's the weather? How is it outside? What's the time of day? Where are you going? Is it daytime or nighttime? Are you going to be indoors or outdoors? And the destination. Is it a workplace? Is it a social place? Is it a friend's house? Is it an event? And all three of these, when I say weather, I really mean like the season. What season are you in? And obviously we're talking about fall this season. Let those answers, what season is it? What's the time of day? Where are you going? Let them influence what you choose to wear. Of course, we do this already, but if you're more conscious of it, you find that if you're ever struggling to say, well, gee, what lipstick should I put on? What color should I wear? That answer happens for you. So when you think about it, just think about color, light, and temperature when you're thinking about makeup colors, and because you probably have these colors in your palette already for makeup, but maybe not. And if you don't have these colors in your palette, it's good to know how to transition. So what I'm going to share with you is just these are just hearts, but the hearts on the left are really, let's say these are the colors in your palette now, sort of your summer colors, and then to the right of them is sort of that fall version of it, that sort of more saturated, higher pigmented. You can call them jewel colors, but they're not all jewel, but they just have more saturation. And when you just basically saturate your colors, you'll find that your makeup is now reflecting a fall makeup as opposed to, your summer makeup. And it really is that easy to transition your makeup from summer to fall. Even working with the colors that you already like, but using more saturated versions of those colors. And in doing so, you're changing the temperature of your makeup wardrobe, and you're changing the color, and it affects you and how you look in nature, because all around you, light is different. You don't look the same in the summer with that sun, straight over your head as you do in the fall, when you have that color kind of more filtered and coming in from a farther distance to reach you, so it's a little bit softer, and so that you can wear slightly more vivid colors and a higher concentration of color, and it's not too strong on you as it would appear in the height of summer when light is right over your head, and giving you sort of, just like being spotlit every place you go, and who wants that? So let's talk about what are the makeup trends for this season coming up, because I don't know if you know this or not, but trend colors, they're all sort of selected by the secret council. I'm sure some people know who is on this secret council. But what they do is they gather, and I don't know if it's annually, I don't know if it's every 3 years or 5 years. Guess what? Nobody knows. But what they do is they decide who is, or what the colors of the upcoming seasons are going to be, and they decide years in advance. And they have to decide years in advance because designers need to plan. They have to start looking not just at what they're going to design, but the colors they're going to use, and then they have to go to textile manufacturers, and they have to say, I need these kind of fabrics, I need these kind of prints, I need these kinds of colors, to look a certain way. And the way that happens is they give themselves plenty of time so that those fabrics can be created. And at the same time, the retailers who are the ones who want to be current. So when this current season comes out and these are the current colors, they want to make sure that those colors are on the rack. Not everybody wants or needs to wear, the current season of colors, but a lot of people do. And in wanting to know what is this season's color, um, as a retailer and someone who sort of delivers fashion to the public, you want to make sure that you have it on your shelf and it's ready to go. So that's where trend colors come from. Now, if you've been around fashion long enough, which many of us have, obviously we see the cycle of sort of color stories where we one season it's purples and golds, and the next seasons it's blues and pinks, and the same fall season. They do that just to keep fashion moving forward, keep it more exciting. But at a certain point, you're just kind of recycling sort of the same story, but with a slightly different twist. With a slightly different ending, if you will, and that's what you want. That's what you want to be aware of. And it's okay not to have every single new color. I mean, if you want to, by all means, go out and get every single new color. But it's okay if you don't, because obviously it's very expensive. But you should look in your closet and go, I'm going out. This new hot color is whatever that color is. This butter rum jacket. I really don't have anything like that. But instead of wearing my favorite salmon colored jacket, maybe I will wear this kind of beigey coat. And by wearing this beigey coat, you are kind of carrying with you what's current in the season, because nobody wants to be dated with their makeup and their look. And again, I say wear whatever the heck you want, because it's what's in your closet and it's what you want to wear. But if you have reasonable facsimiles of colors that are happening, now is a good time to wear them, because nature is supporting those colors. The light of the day and the colors around us are also reflecting what you're wearing. And it's funny, but that's how designers think. And it's not just happenstance that they come up with these colors. They are very observant about what's happening in nature. So this slideshow that's been running just for a little while is showing you some of the key colors in this season's trend, right? And how it reflects, and it's funny, in furniture, in clothing, of course, in shoes and handbags. And you might not like every color. You might be, are you kidding? I'm never going to wear that blue. But there's some colors that are very exciting. Like, is gray exciting? I don't know. I happen to like gray. You look at it in this image and you see gray is kind of a wash, right? But some people don't mind a wash. But what I do like this season are the greens that I'm seeing. I love this green. They call it a spruce, but I didn't expect, when I saw that, I went, huh? Because, green's a difficult color. But no, and then this one, golden lime, it's called. I, as a makeup artist, go, how am I going to incorporate that with my makeup? Because my clients want to be current. So, as you know, this is also being recorded, so it's very easy for you to later rewatch this episode to sort of catch all these colors and to kind of remind yourself, well, what are the fall colors? What is going on and why? And they'll all be here for you. Now let's talk about makeup palettes. And don't be afraid of colorful palettes, all right? You don't have to use a ton of each color, but the makeup palettes that are coming out, they tell really good stories. And these are some of the palettes, the collections of colors that that designers are using and that makeup designers are using. And it is fun to maybe, if you're attracted to one of them and maybe it's something you don't usually wear, it might be fun for you to invest in something like that. Again, you're not going to apply your makeup any differently, but obviously it's going to look different because of the because of the saturation of color. When I look at this collection, I'm really excited about the very bottom on the right collection. Colors I don't use a lot, and then the one above it with that fuchsia in the middle. That is a challenging palette. But you think about softening that with the grays and the blues. Who knows how that would turn out. So it's fun to play and it's fun to figure new stuff out, and that's what we do as makeup artists. And again, all of these colors here are in response to first nature, how light is affecting nature, and then, of course, what the secret society has decided are going to be the trend colors for the season, and that's what you see on the runway, that's what you see in the stores, and then also makeup reflects that very same thing. It is a pretty well-oiled machine that puts these colors out for us. And so it's nice to know that there's a lot of thought going on. You don't have to be crazy and follow all the trends, but at the same time, it's good to know what the trends are in case you do want to know. So I hope this was helpful in terms of just what are fall colors and what do we mean by fall colors. And I guess my biggest takeaway for you is know that the light of day is falling at a much more extreme angle, it's more diffused, it's more filtered, and at the same time nature is going through, obviously it's bizarre because, basically everything's dying, right, moving into winter, but it's having the most glorious death. It's having this beautiful burst of color and light. And so how do you take that diffusion of light, but that celebration of life with the colors and, translate that into your makeup? That's really fall color. That's kind of exciting. For all of you who watch my YouTube show, you do get a 20% cart discount, and the code is simple, YouTube20. So anytime you're shopping at makeupgourmet.com, if you type in that code, you're going to get your very own 20% discount, and that's also on my services. The only thing I don't discount are my wedding services, and I have tons of I have skincare, I have makeup, I have tons of tools, brushes, sponges. I have kits for makeup artists to do their work with. So there's something for everybody. And if the holidays times are here and 20% off, it just don't hurt. So hopefully you can take advantage of that as often as you possibly can. We're always open to topic suggestions, and also if you have any desire to appear on Makeup Gourmet Live as a model, just simply email us at info@makeupgourmet.com, and we are happy to respond and hopefully use your topic suggestion. Just one last little pitch before I talk about next week is never forget that how I do makeup, my unique style of doing makeup, authentic beauty makeup through the Face with a Heart book, that's available at Amazon, and every time you purchase it on Amazon, you get a free ebook with it. So it's worth every penny to get the book from there. And holiday time is coming up, so now is a good time to think about, gee, what would make a really thoughtful gift that someone's going to look at over and over again. If you haven't seen the interior of my book, you can go to Amazon and take a look. But the interior is beautiful. It's that perfect hybrid of sort of a magazine, candy imagery, and then in the second half are all my not all, but all of my authentic beauty makeup techniques. And boy, those are really great to have, handy. And then also know that on my website, under the Learn tab, I have tutorials, video tutorials of every step I do in my book as well. So you can't really not learn how to do this. And what I do is unique. I use correctors, not concealers. I illuminate the face. I don't cover the face. It really is about tons of beauty and you looking your best. It's not, you don't wear more makeup to look dramatic and less makeup to look natural. your makeup always goes on the same. It's just the intensity and the contrast of colors that really makes the strong difference with what you do. And so speaking about makeup, next week we're going to do a gorgeous, gorgeous, yummy fall makeup look. Very excited about this. With fall makeup, you just don't bow down as far as, well, should I stop? I mean, of course, at one point you want to stop. Think 80s makeup, better blended. It's just going to be yummy, yummy, gorgeous to watch this makeup go on and really give you confidence with working with those higher intensity colors, because as long as you put the color in the right spot, it's going to look great. The only problem is when you don't know where makeup's supposed to go and you put it on, you go, that didn't work, and we have all been there. And so understanding where things go and where they don't go makes all the difference. This image here is just the ideal example of my face with a heart technique. You notice that the line between, if you invisible line from the corner of her lip past the corner of her eye, you can see how clean the center of her face is, how the contouring happens outside the heart of the face. The face is really styled and shaped well. We're going to discuss all of these techniques with a much higher intensity makeup coloring application using maybe one of the trend palettes that I saw. I have a question. Are some of these fall colors available in your eyeshadow palettes? Yes, they are. I have fall color palettes. I am going to actually put a few more together. So by tomorrow, when you visit my website, you will be able to see my take on what's happening this season and the palettes that go with them. And they're always discounted already because they're individually. If you bought these colors, the set would be $75, I think, but a 5-pack that is custom is $50. And remember, with your YouTube 20, you get that 20% discount. So really, you can see the price falling. And all these colors, you can replace the colors individually. And so by replacing colors individually, you might use up your favorite gold color on that palette first and go, crap, I gotta buy a whole nother palette. No, you don't. Just buy the refill color and pop it in, and you're good as gold. So I'm very excited about next week's look because I did do a pretty intense smoky eye a couple of episodes ago, but this is the makeup that really turns me on, because I think that fall is really visceral and it makes us feel something. It's emotional, and to see that in the makeup, like in this image here, I feel it's emotional, so it really is. It's a fun thing to share with other people. So I hope that some of this concept of fall coloring and light and how it reflects with what you wear resonates with you, because it will help you sort of transition into colors that you may not use, but they're going to look great because you understand where the color is coming from, both in nature and in light, and also just with your own sense of fashion and taste and where you're going and what you're wearing. So without further ado, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Makeup Gourmet Live Fall Colors in Transition. And I think you understand the title a little bit better now because of this. And we'll see you next week. So thank you so much.